All right, let's take a look at how to add some mixed numbers. And this is review, and I'm going to give you a step-by-step method to do this, so you can just go through some steps. And the first step is, if you have the problem like this, is you need to rewrite it with vertical columns. And what I mean by that is I want my whole numbers in one column and my fractions in a separate column. And then the second step is very simple. I add my whole numbers together. The trickier part here is the fractions now, because I've got different denominators. So the next step is find a common denominator, and it's going to be for thirds and fifths. The common denominator is going to be 15ths. And hopefully you know how to convert these fractions, because that's the next step. So how do I make two thirds into 15ths? You might be able to do it in your head. If not, think about, what are you multiplying 3 by to get 15? That's 5, so then you multiply the whole thing by 1, or 5/5. You've got 10/15ths there. Down here, same idea. What are you multiplying this 5 by to get to 15? The answer is thirds. And now you can go ahead and add those together. 10/15ths plus 6/15ths is going to give you 16/15ths. However, it looks like we have ourselves an improper fraction. If it were a proper fraction, we can just put it together there and we're done. But this is improper. We need to convert it to a mixed number first. And again, you might be able to do this in your head, but if not, we have 16 divided by 15. And here the answer is always going to be 1. So the answer is 1 is the same as 1. And if you move this up, it's 1 and 1/15. So now I need to put that together with my 5. So the final answer is going to be 6 and 1/15. There it is. And again, we're putting together many steps we've been working on for a while. So if this is all new to you, it's going to be very challenging. But if not, if you've been practicing this, you can just go through these steps bit by bit. Let's do another one. 5 and 7/10 plus 7 and 2/3. And first I'll write it in my vertical columns. And then I can add my whole numbers first. And now, what is my common denominator between 3 and thirds and tenths? It's going to be 30. So now, you might be able to do this part in your head, because I know 2/3 equals to 20/30ths, and 7/10ths. We're multiplying by 3, so it's going to be 21/30ths. And this gives me, when I add these together, 41/30ths. And that is improper. So again, if we were to do 41 divided by 30, we have 1 and 11/30ths, and I add that to 12, and the final answer is 13 and 11/30ths. Let's just do one more. It looks like we have some of these problems are very similar, with the fractions at least, but we've got 1 and 2/3 plus 4 1/2. And luckily you've got a lot of these 2/3 and 1/2, so you're going to have similar answers for these, at least with your fractions. But let's just do it. Okay, 1 plus 4 is 5, whole numbers first. Do you know the common denominator for 3 and 2? Thirds and halves, common denominator is going to be 6ths. So 1/2 is the same as 3/6. 2/3 is the same as 4/6. That's going to give me 7/6. 7/6, you might be able to do this in your head by now, is 1 and 1/6. If you don't believe me, there's your proof. 1 and 1/6. And then I just add that, and the answer is 6 and 1/6. So that's it. I think you can try these other ones on your own. 4, 5, and 6. 4 is going to have an interesting answer. You might tell already what's going to happen when you add 2 fourths plus 1/2. Hopefully you might even be able to do this one in your head if you use your knowledge of fractions. But that's good for this. Let's take one quick look for my class. I'm going to give you a challenge puzzle, which looks like this. Can you figure out the area of this box? So let me get you started if you need some help here. And just figure out what you can figure out. So I know over here, if this one is 12 square inches and this is 4, this side must be 3. And then down at the bottom here, same thing, that must be 3. And then I think you can figure out this on your own. Let's do this one. We have 6 here, we have 54 here, so that one must be 9. And now, if I subtract, first of all, don't forget to write what you're doing. So that's what I just did. But now, to get this side right here, I can subtract, because I know this is 9, this is 3. So to get this side, I can simply go with 9 minus 3, and that's going to give me that side. And you can use a similar trick to get this side, and then multiply, and then you've got the area of this guy here. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching, and that's all. Goodbye.